What if I told you that the very things you're doing without even realizing it are making you look weak in the eyes of women? Not just physically weak, but mentally, emotionally, and even spiritually. We live in a world where strength isn't about muscles or status, it's about resilience, control, and the ability to command respect without demanding it. And no one understood this better than Marcus Aurelius, the Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher. His wisdom isn't just ancient theory, it's the key to confidence, attraction, and self-respect. Before we dive in, take a second to like this video and subscribe to Daily Stoic. Trust me, by the end of this video, your perspective on relationships and yourself will change. So watch till the end, because the strongest men aren't the ones who chase, but the ones who attract effortlessly. 1. Stop seeking validation. The number one mistake that makes you weak in the eyes of women. Let me take you back to a moment in your life. Think about the first time you fell for someone. Maybe it was years ago. Maybe it was just recently. Remember that rush? The excitement of waiting for their text, overanalyzing every word, replaying every interaction in your head. You wanted them to like you. You wanted to be enough. Now, be honest, did you ever change a part of yourself just to fit into what you thought they wanted? Did you laugh at jokes that weren't funny? Did you agree with opinions you didn't really believe in? Did you overthink every message before sending it, hoping you wouldn't say the wrong thing? If you did, you're not alone. Almost every guy has been there. But let me ask you this, did it work? Or did you feel like the harder you tried, the less interested they became? That's the harsh truth about validation seeking. The more you try to win someone's approval, the less respect they have for you. Marcus Aurelius once said, "It never ceases to amaze me, we all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Think about that. You live with yourself every single day, yet you let someone else's approval determine your worth. That's not confidence, that's weakness. And women, they sense it immediately. Why seeking validation pushes women away? Picture this, you're on a date with a beautiful woman. Every time she speaks, you nod eagerly, agreeing with everything she says. She mentions a band, you suddenly love that band. She jokes about something, you force a laugh, even if it wasn't funny. She might be polite, she might smile, but deep down, something feels off to her. Why? Because you're not being real. Now imagine a different guy. He listens, but is not desperate for her approval. He shares his real thoughts, unafraid of disagreement. He laughs at what he finds funny. He's comfortable in his own skin. That's the guy who commands respect. That's the guy who attracts women effortlessly. How to stop seeking validation. So next time you meet someone you're interested in, don't ask yourself, do they like me? Instead, ask, do I even like them? Because the moment you stop chasing validation, you become the kind of man who naturally earns it. 2. Stop complaining. The habit that makes you unattractive without you even realizing it. Let me take you back to a moment you've probably experienced before. You're on a date. You've been looking forward to this. She's beautiful, she's smiling, and the conversation is flowing. But as the night goes on, you find yourself slipping into a dangerous habit. You start venting. You talk about how your boss doesn't appreciate you, how the economy is terrible, how dating is hard these days because women only want guys with money. You're not trying to be negative. You're just being honest, right? But then something changes. She's still smiling, but it feels forced. Her eyes flicker away more often. And by the end of the night, when you text her, she responds with, "I had a great time, but I don't really see this going anywhere." What happened? You didn't insult her, you didn't say anything wrong. So why did she lose interest? The answer is simple, women are repelled by men who constantly complain. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic emperor, said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Strong men focus on what they can control, not on what they can't. Complaining tells the world, I have no control over my life. And trust me, that's the last thing a woman wants in a man. Now, think about the opposite. Imagine a man who, instead of complaining, shrugs off challenges with a smile. His boss is unfair. He works harder. The economy is bad. He finds new ways to grow. A woman cancelled a date. No problem, he moves on because he knows his worth. That energy, it's magnetic. It tells the world, I don't let life control me, I control how I respond to life. So the next time you're tempted to vent about how unfair life is, stop. Ask yourself, is this something I can change? If not, let it go. Women don't want a victim. They want a man who takes charge of his life. And that's the kind of man who wins not just in love, but in everything. 3. Stop being overly reactive. Why losing control over your emotions makes you weak in the eyes of women. Let me take you back to a moment you've probably lived through before. You're texting someone you really like. Things seem to be going well, and then silence. Hours pass. Nothing. Your mind starts spinning. Did I say something wrong? Are they losing interest? Should I double text? You feel this growing sense of panic. So you do what most guys do, you send another message. Maybe something casual, like hey, just checking in, or hope you're having a good day. But deep down, it's not just a text. It's you searching for reassurance. And then she responds, but something feels different. Maybe she takes longer than before. Maybe her messages get shorter. And soon, you feel that sinking feeling you're losing her interest. What went wrong? The answer is simple: overreacting kills attraction. Marcus Aurelius, the great Stoic philosopher, once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Women aren't just looking at what you say. They are feeling how you react. If a small delay in response can shake your confidence, what does that say about your inner strength? Why emotional control is everything. Imagine you're on a date, and she playfully teases you. A weak man gets defensive. He overreacts, trying to prove himself. Maybe he snaps back, maybe he sulks. Maybe he even withdraws emotionally to punish her. But a strong man, he laughs it off. He doesn't flinch because he's not looking for validation, he's secure in himself. And that right there, that's power. Women naturally test men not to be cruel, but to see who you really are. Can you handle pressure? Can you stay grounded? Because if you can't handle something as small as a delayed text, how will you handle real challenges in life? How to break free from reactivity. Next time you feel the urge to overreact, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, is this really worth my energy? Because the men who command respect are ones women are drawn to, are the ones who control themselves, not the ones who lose control at the smallest sign of uncertainty. And that, my friend, is the difference between being forgotten and being unforgettable. 4. Stop being too available. Why always being there makes you less attractive. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been so into someone that you dropped everything the moment they called or texted? Maybe you canceled plans with friends just because they were free at the last minute. Maybe you replied to their texts instantly, every single time. Maybe you rearranged your whole schedule just to spend time with them. And at first, it felt good, right? You thought, if I show them how much I care, they'll appreciate it. But then something strange happened. Instead of them liking you more, they started pulling away. They texted less. They seemed less excited to see you. And eventually, they lost interest. Sound familiar? That's because being too available kills attraction. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Think of yourself as dead. You have lived your life. Now take what's left and live it properly." This might sound intense, but the lesson here is powerful. Your time is the most valuable thing you have. If you give it away too easily, people stop valuing it. Why always being available makes you less attractive. Imagine this: you meet someone new. They are interesting, fun, and they have their own life. They have passions, hobbies, and goals. When you make plans, they say, "I'd love to, but I have something going on. How about this day instead?" What does that make you feel? Excitement? Curiosity? You see them as someone valuable, someone who has things going on. Now imagine the opposite. You text them and they always respond immediately. You ask them to meet up and they are always free. They cancel their plans for you. At first, it might feel nice, but over time, it starts to feel too easy. And human nature, we don't value things that come too easily. How to stop being too available? The key isn't to play games or ignore people on purpose. It's to have a life so full that you naturally can't be available all the time. Next time someone asks to meet, don't immediately drop everything. Say, "I'd love to, but I have something planned. Let's do another day." Not only does this make you more attractive, but it also shows that you respect yourself and your time. And trust me, when you start valuing yourself, others will too. That's the power of being a man who isn't always available. 5. Stop over-apologizing. Why constantly saying sorry makes you look weak. Let me take you back to a moment you might have lived through before. You're on a date with someone you really like. The conversation is flowing, but you start noticing something about yourself. She interrupts you. "Oh, sorry, go ahead." You accidentally brush against her arm. "Oh, sorry about that." The waiter brings the wrong order, and you say, "Sorry about the confusion." By the end of the date, you realize you've said sorry more times than you can count. You were just trying to be polite, right? Trying to be nice, respectful. But when she doesn't text back as quickly as before, when she seems a little less excited to see you again, you're left wondering what went wrong. Here's what: over-apologizing makes you look weak. Why saying sorry too much kills attraction. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." Strong men don't talk about being good men, they show it through their actions. And part of that strength is owning your space in the world, without constantly apologizing for existing. Now, don't get me wrong, saying sorry when you've actually done something wrong is a sign of maturity. But apologizing for every little thing, that's a sign of insecurity. Think about this: if a man bumps into you and confidently says, "My bad, man," and moves on, you don't think twice about it. But if someone bumps into you and then starts over-apologizing, saying, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to," it instantly feels off. It's the same in dating. Women are drawn to men who take up space, who don't feel the need to shrink themselves. Constantly apologizing sends the message that you're afraid of being a burden, that you don't believe in your own value. How to stop over-apologizing. Next time you feel the urge to say sorry for something minor, stop yourself. Instead of "Sorry for interrupting," try "Hold on, let me finish this thought." Instead of "Sorry for bothering you," say "Got a second?" Confidence isn't about being rude, it's about knowing your worth. And when you start speaking with certainty instead of apologizing for everything, you'll notice people, especially women, start looking at you differently. Because strong men don't apologize for who they are. 6. Stop chasing. Why pursuing too hard makes you less attractive. Let me take you back to a time when you had a crush on someone you really liked. You did everything you could to get their attention. You sent the good morning texts, the check-in messages, the compliments. You made sure they knew you were interested. And every time they responded, you felt that rush of excitement, like you were getting closer. But then something strange happened. Instead of them getting more interested, they started pulling away. They took longer to reply. Their messages got shorter, and soon enough, they weren't responding at all. And you were left wondering, what did I do wrong? Here's the answer: chasing kills attraction. Why women lose interest when you chase too hard. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." Women aren't attracted to men whose main ambition is them. They are drawn to men who have a life. Men who are so focused on their purpose that they don't need to chase. Think about this: when was the last time you desperately chased something that was already yours? You don't beg for the air you breathe. You don't chase after your own shadow. You only chase things that are running away from you. And the moment you start chasing a woman too hard, she subconsciously starts running. Not because she wants to play games, but because something about desperation feels off. How to stop chasing and start attracting. Now, let's flip the script. Imagine you meet a woman you like, but instead of trying to impress her, you focus on being impressive. You don't drop everything to text her back instantly. You don't rearrange your life for her. Instead, you stay on your path. You go to the gym, build your career, pursue your passions. You treat her as a part of your life, not the center of it. And guess what? That's when she starts chasing you. Women don't want a man who needs them to feel complete. They want a man who is already whole, a man whose attention is valuable, not given away for free. So stop chasing. Start living. And watch how the right people start coming to you. Choosing it all. 7. Stop being indecisive. Why hesitation kills attraction. Let me take you back to a moment you've probably experienced before. You're on a date. You're sitting across from someone you really like, and then comes that question. So, what do you want to do next? You hesitate. You don't want to pick something she won't like. You don't want to come across as too pushy. So you say, I don't know, what do you want to do? She shrugs, I'm good with anything. Now you're both stuck in an awkward back and forth, trying to be polite, but instead, the energy of the moment fades. By the time you finally decide, the excitement has already started slipping away. And later, when you text her, she seems less interested. What happened? Indecision killed the vibe. Why indecision makes you less attractive. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Women are naturally drawn to men who can lead. This doesn't mean controlling them or making selfish choices. It means being decisive. Think about it. When a man confidently says, let's go here, you'll love it. It feels exciting. It shows he's sure of himself. But when a man hesitates, second guesses, and constantly defers decisions, it feels weak. It makes a woman feel like she has to lead. And the truth is, most women don't want that. They want a man who can own his choices. How to stop being indecisive. The next time you're with someone, whether it's a date, a conversation, or even just making plans, own your decision. If she asks, where should we go? Say, let's grab a coffee at this cool place I know. If she asks, what do you want to eat? Don't say, I don't know. Instead, say, I'm in the mood for sushi, let's go there. Even if she has a different preference, she'll appreciate that you made a decision. That confidence, it's magnetic. Because in the end, women don't want a man who's afraid to make a choice. They want a man who knows what he wants and isn't afraid to go for it. 8. Stop seeking constant validation. Why needing approval makes you less attractive. Let me take you back to a moment you might have experienced before. You just met someone you really like. Things are going well and you feel excited. But as time goes on, you start to crave reassurance. You text them and wait for a response, checking your phone every few minutes. When they take too long, you wonder, did I do something wrong? When you're together, you find yourself asking questions like, do you think I'm funny? Do you like being with me? Do you think this could go somewhere? You're just looking for clarity, right? You just want to know where you stand. But instead of making them feel closer to you, something shifts. They seem a little less excited, a little less engaged. And before you know it, they start pulling away. What went wrong? Needing constant validation is unattractive. Why seeking approval pushes people away? Marcus Aurelius once said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. Women are drawn to confidence, not arrogance, but true inner confidence. When a man constantly asks for reassurance, it signals insecurity. It tells her, I don't believe I'm good enough unless you tell me I am. And here's the truth: people don't want to convince you of your worth. They want to witness it. Imagine two men. One walks into a room with quiet confidence. When a man constantly asks for reassurance, it signals insecurity. It tells her, I don't believe I'm good enough unless you tell me I am. And here's the truth: people don't want to convince you of your worth. They want to witness it. Imagine two men. One walks into a room with quiet confidence. He doesn't need to prove himself. He knows his value, and that energy draws people in. The other man constantly looks around, checking for approval. He seeks validation in others' reactions, always adjusting himself to please them. And people sense it. The first man attracts effortlessly. The second, he pushes people away. How to stop seeking validation. Next time you feel the urge to ask for reassurance, pause. Instead of looking outward, look inward. Do you know your own worth? If you text someone and they don't reply right away, so what? If they are interested, they'll respond. And if they are not, that's their loss. Confidence isn't about being liked by everyone. It's about knowing you don't need to be. And the moment you stop seeking validation, that's when people start giving it to you naturally. 9. Stop complaining why negative energy pushes women away. Let me take you back to a conversation you might have had before. You're on a date or talking to someone you really like. At first, things are going well. But then, little by little, the conversation starts to shift. You casually mention how work has been exhausting lately. Then you talk about how the traffic was horrible. Then you bring up how your last relationship ended unfairly. You're just venting, right? Just being honest. But as you keep going, you notice something: her energy starts changing. She's nodding, but not as engaged. Her eyes start drifting, her responses become shorter. And after that, she doesn't seem as excited to talk to you anymore. What happened? Complaining kills attraction. Why negative energy pushes women away? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Women are drawn to strong energy, not fake positivity. But a man who can handle challenges without letting them drag him down. When you complain too much, it sends a message that you are not in control of your life. Think about it: who do you enjoy being around? Someone who lifts your energy or someone who constantly drains it? Now imagine you meet two men. The first one says, "Work has been tough, but I'm figuring things out. I like a challenge." The second one says, "Work sucks. My boss is annoying. Everything is stressful." Which one seems more attractive? More confident? The answer is obvious. How to stop complaining and start attracting. Next time you feel the urge to complain, stop and reframe your mindset. Instead of saying, "Ooh, my job is terrible," say, "I'm working towards something better." Instead of saying, "I never have any luck in dating," say, "I'm learning and growing." And the right person will come along. Women aren't looking for perfection, they are looking for strength. A man who can face life's difficulties without drowning in negativity. Because confidence isn't just about how you look or what you say, it's about how you carry yourself. Even when things aren't perfect. And when you become a man who doesn't complain, but instead finds solutions, that's when women stop pulling away and start leaning in. 10. Stop lacking purpose why not having a mission makes you unattractive. Let me take you back to a time when you were deeply in love, or at least deeply interested in someone. In the beginning, everything was exciting. Every text, every conversation, every moment with them felt electric. You wanted to spend all your time with them. But then, somewhere along the way, something shifted. You started prioritizing them over everything else. Your hobbies. You put them on hold. Your ambitions. You weren't as focused anymore. Your plans. They started revolving around them. You thought this would make them appreciate you more. But instead, you noticed the opposite: they seemed less excited, less engaged. The attraction started fading. What happened? You lost your purpose, and in doing so, you lost their respect. Why women lose interest when you have no mission. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions." Women are drawn to men on a mission. A man who wakes up every day with a clear goal. Something he is working toward. Something that excites him. Because here's the truth: no woman wants to be the center of your world. She wants to be a part of it, but she doesn't want to feel like she's all you have. Imagine two men. The first man wakes up every day, grinding, building his future, improving himself. He likes a woman, but she is not his purpose. His purpose is his growth, his success, his legacy. The second man wakes up every day, waiting for a text, hoping to be noticed, making a woman the only thing that matters. Who do you think she's going to respect? Who do you think she's going to want? How to find your purpose and become irresistible. If you feel like your life revolves around relationships, it's time to shift your focus. Ask yourself, what excites me outside of dating? What goals am I working toward? What kind of man do I want to become? When you start chasing your dreams instead of chasing her, something powerful happens. She starts chasing you. Because confidence isn't just about how you talk or look. It's about having a life so full that a woman sees you and thinks, I want to be a part of that. And when you live like that, attraction isn't something you have to force. It's something that happens naturally. These aren't just attitudes that weaken you in the eyes of women. They weaken you, period. But the good news, every single one of them can be changed. It starts with self-awareness. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.